So we're back again with our next podcast. We filmed quite a few. I don't even know what number we're on.
We filmed quite a few in the backlog now, so we've got some good guests that are lined up. Some good content coming out soon.
Yes, that is true.
And so today we just launched a new channel as well, BOS TV.
BOS TV.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe to that. First podcast was on Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Second podcast, Bibi Darshan Kaur.
Yep.
And then this is the third podcast, which is on Vaisakhi.
Theme today is Vaisakhi.
Yep. But before we do that,
we wanted to go through a bit of the comments and feedback we got.
This was your idea.
Yeah, we thought it'd be good just to answer some questions because we got some good questions in the comments.
This is YouTube comments, right?
YouTube comments mostly, yeah.
From 4 different videos. We got the main podcast release, and then we had 3 short clips that came from that. One was on 100K on a wedding, which is a really good topic. The essence of Sikhi was a different one, and the third one was on what was the true message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji to the Muslims. So what were some of the comments? I did have a quick...
So we got a good one here from Kanwa Sandhu, and he's asking about God's will and hukum. What's the difference?
So what, he wants that to be a podcast, or he's just asking in general?
Just asking the question.
Well, that's a very deep topic, right?
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that'll make a good podcast going forward.
Yeah.
Because just the idea of hukum and karam is such a deep concept. And for many years, just doing parachar, I remember when I first used to do, I used to really struggle with this question. And I've come to a stage now where I don't even try to attempt to answer the question. Because hukum is everything.
Yeah.
Eko naam hukum hai, Satguru diya bujai jiyo, which means that the naam, that connection to Vaiguji, naam, which is such a deep topic in itself, eko naam hukum hai, is hukum. So until we understand naam, we will never understand hukum. Until we connect to naam, we can never understand hukum. So
I think a good topic for a whole podcast we could do on that. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of historical, lot of stories as well. Like Guru Arjan Dev Ji talks about one of their Guru Sikhs, right? And they actually give an answer. So I'm not going to give the answer.
So keep listening. Subscribe to listen to that.
Subscribe to this channel to learn about that.
Just going through, here's another one from Rajesh Maurya. Sikhs in Punjab are converting to Christianity at a very rapid pace. Is this concerning to you guys? Is Sikhi failing against Christianity?
What do you think?
Obviously, I don't think so. And I think that we actually cover this in today's podcast in a bit of depth.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, make sure you listen a bit to the end.
We will 100% answer this question today. Right? So if you want to listen to that, the answer to this question, because we get this a lot, right, about numbers. So we'll find out later on.
Yeah, okay.
We have a hook right there.
Just going through a bit more. Both of you mentioned that Guru Nanak Dev Ji was God on earth. Can someone explain how we should understand this and how can it be connected to Ik One God?
So what are they trying to get in the question? Are they trying to say that?
I think they're trying to ask, how is there one God, but then you're saying Guru Nanak Dev Ji is separate and on earth at the same time?
Hanji.
So
so it's like saying, you're saying there's one God and you're saying there's God, then there's Guru Nanak Dev Ji who's God as well.
Yeah, so there's 2 they're trying to say.
Yes. So going with the idea of Ik One God, right?
Yeah.
So there's many analogies we can give for this, right? The ocean is one, but out of the ocean, there's only one ocean, for example, but many waves come out of the ocean.
Yep.
So that's like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, right? They are the wave and Vaiguji is the ocean. But how can all that's happened now is that the ocean has taken upon a form.
Yeah.
If you look at the sun, the sun is the sun, but then from the sun comes the kiran, which means the rays. What's the difference? The sun is in the space, but the rays hit the earth. Yeah. Right? It's just different analogies, but there's only
you can't differentiate in terms of the water. The actual matter, the water is the same.
Yes.
The wave is just taken, the oceans just taken a different form of the wave. In the same way, God is the same everywhere.
Yeah.
But they've taken on the form of Guru Nanak Dev Ji.
Hanji.
Yeah.
Definitely. So this idea of Ik One God, we have to understand that everything is Ik. That's what Ik stands for. Ik means one. But One God is the illusion that we are in. That from that one became everything that we see around us. But it was all made from that one.
Yeah.
And that's where we've got lost. Back to the ocean analogy. We are the drops then that have come out of the ocean.
Yeah.
But we are the ocean.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, right? It's the substance is the same.
Okay. I think that's good.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Next, does anyone know where I can read Suraj Prakash Granth in English?
We talked about Surya Prakash quite a bit in the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
So there are quite a few great sources that you can get online, resources online. One is if you go onto Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji Academy, their website,
Yep.
and on their resources page, you can find, I think it's the 9th Guru, the 2nd Guru, and the 4th Guru. I think there might be 1 or 2 other Guru Sahibans as well. You can find all the history written in English on there, right? So they've taken all of Surya Prakash, majority of it, I think. I've only read snippets of it, but it's really good, right? And they give a lot of footnotes and references as well. That's one. Another suggestion that I would give is the work by Gurdwara Academy.
Bhai Gurdas Educational Trust.
Oh, sorry. That's the one. So the work by Gurdwara Educational Trust, their work is great as well. Because what they've done is that they've taken just the start of Surya Prakash, which is called Siddhi Nanak Prakash, which is the history of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So that's just from the start. And although they've only done 20 chapters, so they've only covered the start of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's life. It's 500 pages and it goes into so much detail. We're even doing a book review on it as well. So I'll leave it to the book review to explain in more detail, but that is available. We'll put that in the links for those in the description for both Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji Academy and Bhai Gurdas Ji's the trust as well, educational trust and their resources.
We got a question here from Jasjeet Kaur. Is the podcast available on any other platforms?
I'll leave that one to you.
Yes, it is available. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Radio Public, Podchaser, Overcast, JioSaavn, Deezer, Podcast Addict. So basically quite a lot.
And YouTube and SoundCloud.
And
he didn't remember all that. He's got his laptop in front of him.
I had to pull up the list,
Just in case I figured, how did you remember all those platforms that quickly?
Next question. Is there any good Sikh history books you can recommend?
Again, this is why we're going to do book reviews going forward. So make sure you check out BOS TV for these book reviews.
I think it ties in with the previous question about the Surya Prakash. If you don't know about what that is, it's a granth which contains the history of all of the gurus.
Yes.
All the Guru Sahibs. And a lot of people have done work where they're translating that into English. Like for kids and stuff. There's a new one that just came out, the Guru Nanak Sikhi Sagar book.
Okay.
That was done by
Siddhi Granth Sahib Ji Academy as well, I think.
No, that was done from Canada.
Okay.
From Guru Nanak Academy in Canada.
Okay, Mafiji.
And so that book's just come out. That's a really good book for Sikh history as well.
Other books that are good to read as well, like the life stories of Sikh saints as well. Very good one is like Saikanaya, which is like a good beginner's book to read, right?
And you can find that on Google, just the PDF.
Siddhi Guru Nanak Chamatkar, Siddhi Kalagi Tada Chamatkar by Veer Singh Ji. But again, we will be doing all these book reviews in the near future. We've got hopefully Bhai Mandeep Singh Ji. I've already said it now, so hopefully it happens, right? With Bhai Mandeep Singh Ji, who's going to be hopefully leading up that seva going forward. I think Bibi Gurpreet Kaur wants to do a few as well.
Wicked.
So let's see with that going forward.
Next, we got a question. Basis of Sikhi, could you do a topic on what is an honest living? As the first Hukamnama given by Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, I feel conflicted. I'm 19 and thinking, what is considered to be ethical, honest living as per Sikhi's teaching? Can we own off licenses that sell alcohol and meat? And are we allowed to invest in stocks and gain interest? So that is quite an interesting question.
Yes. Do you want to break it up? I take one half, you take the other.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's first talk about things like off licenses and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about alcohol later on anyway. But as a Sikh, no, we shouldn't be selling alcohol. Right? Even when it comes to tobacco as well, which is another big thing, right? Which you're seeing off licenses shops. And you even see it now, right? You may go to Southall, right? And you see up in it, Singhs, right? And they're selling alcohol and they're selling cigarettes. Even though our Guru told us to stay away from these things, right? They're seen as cardinal sins. Even
like Maharaj's horse, Guru Gobind Singh Ji's horse, didn't even enter the tobacco fields.
It didn't, right? So if Guru Sahib's own horse wouldn't go next to it, then why would a Sikh? There was one Guru Sikh who would rather have been, he was skinned alive. He was hung, I'm sure he was hung upside down and skinned alive, right? Because he refused to put tobacco in his mouth, right? And now today we're selling that tobacco in our shops. it's just mind blowing. And then when it comes to alcohol, again, we're touching that later on, but it just doesn't make sense how we can do this. And it's all based around money. I know people have to earn money, right? But then
it's not like an honest living.
It's not honest living.
What Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught us, basically.
And when it comes to other things, right? Like you're going to touch upon gambling, and when it comes to stocks and stuff and like the trading stuff. But just before that, this is where going into Sad Sangat, right? Listening to Katha, doing vichar, contemplating on topics, right?
Yeah.
Like listening to these kind of things, you will start to gain wisdom. We call it Vivek Buddhi, right? Vivek means bib means door, ek means one. From two you go to one. You may be in a situation where you're thinking, am I meant to do this or am I meant to do that? But this is when you start to follow the path of spirituality, then you start to understand what the answer is anyway. You know yourself, you have that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times we can't just ask people for the answer. Of course, we'll try and help, but you can find the answer inside yourself as well.
I guess as you progress in your journey, and you like undertake more and more experiences, that will help like guide and change your path.
Yes.
In terms of like what route you will take.
100%.
And so just moving on to this next part about, is it ethical to do stocks and shares? Are we allowed to invest in stocks and shares? And I think that it depends. So if you're doing it without knowing anything and you're just guessing and putting like all your life savings in a stock because you've just heard it on the news or on Reddit, that was a big thing recently, some random person has just said it, then it's considered gambling because you have no experience, you have no knowledge, you haven't done any research. And obviously gambling is not something that's Sikhi actually promotes, right?
Oh yeah, you shouldn't be gambling.
But at the same time, when it comes to stocks and shares and trading, this kind of stuff existed from ages ago, years and years ago, from Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time. And in terms of that Sacha Sauda Sakhi, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj was told to go and trade. And there was tradesmen which would come and trade in physical items, foods and crops. And now you can translate that into what we have today is all numbers on the screen essentially, but it's the same type of stocks and trading. It's just with in a different medium, different platform. Yeah. And it's like a full-time job. So people nowadays, they go to university and study all of these things in order to like trade properly. So if you know what you're doing, I would say do it. It is a good way to invest money. But obviously,
make a living, right?
Yeah, but be careful, right? Because
definitely.
You could lose everything. Yeah, so this is not investment advice.
We turned this into basics of investment.
Disclaimer, yeah.
But just again, with VG saying this as well, that does not give you someone an invitation to say, oh, I'm going to go and gamble then. Like VG is saying, it's all about these people are professionals. They know how to do this stuff. They know the market. And like, if you're looking at the house again, there's many Sikhs or Saudagar Sikhs. They were traders and they'll come and they were Sikhs of the Guru. They would trade and go abroad and do these type of trades. Right? It's just done in a different way, a different platform.
Yeah.
Right? So
the main thing is if you've done the research, you know what you're doing. It's like any job, if you were to buy a house or anything can happen. The housing market could crash. You could lose a lot of money. So you never know. But that's obviously just down to Hukum at the end of the day. Moving on, we've got a question here about the previous podcast. VG, can you please source where Muslim means steadfast? Because I can't seem to find it. From Born Myth.
Okay.
I think they mean that Pankti Musallim.
Yeah, the Musallim, that's the word itself, Musallim as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is from, it comes in many different granths, resources that you can find, or sources, sorry, but this one is from Gurbani Arth Pandar, where I specifically sourced it from, right?
Yeah.
So that's just a reference for you for that. Which if you just type it on Google, you can find it yourself, Gurbani Arth Pandar.
We got a question here. I am a Hindu. I want to convert to Sikhism. What should I do? I think we'll cover this later about conversion.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah. So we'll go into depth about some of these questions later. So let's talk today about Vaisakhi. That's the theme of the podcast.
Vaisakhi. One of the most busiest times in the Gurdwara, right?
Yeah.
Doing talks there. Diwali is a busy time. What else is a busy time at the Gurdwara?
New Year's. the British New Year calendar. It's probably more busy than the Sikh New Year.
Yeah, no one knows when the Sikh New Year is. Why? Nobody
When
knows
is
that.
it, by the way?
It's in March.
Okay.
It's usually mid-March. So this year it was on the 14th or 15th.
14th, I think.
Yeah, so 2021 it was on the 14th, 15th. But yeah, the New Year's Day, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's birthday, Guru Purab we call it, Prakash Purab, and then Vaisakhi as well.
Yeah.
Some of the most busiest times. And what's quite funny is that even, I won't say who said it because they might be watching this, but someone in my family the other day, because I was saying that I got a Happy New Year's card, Sikh New Year's card, right?
Yeah.
And it actually was delivered to the wrong person, right? So they knew I was the only Singh in the next few houses, right? He drops it off to my house and I'm looking at the card and I was like, this looks like a birthday card. But I was like, it's not even my birthday, right? So I opened the card, opened the envelope, and it looks like a birthday card. So I'm thinking it must be a birthday card. And then when I take it out, it's a Happy New Year card. Happy Sikh New Year. And I was like really happy. I was like, who sent me a Sikh New Year card, right? And obviously it was a lovely Guru Sikh who sent me that not birthday card. It was a lovely Guru Sikh who sent me that New Year's card. And I was just so happy, right, to receive that because I never received one before. We put the link in the description for the Guru Sikhs who are doing the seva now of actually giving out Sikh greeting cards.
Yeah.
Right? And I won't say who was in my family because I said to them, I won't do your bestie. Right? But they said, but it's not the Sikh New Year. It's next month.
Yeah.
It's during Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi is a Sikh New Year. And I was like, no. I was like, I do parchar. And in my own house, someone is saying that Sikh New Year is during Vaisakhi because that's what people think, right?
Yeah, they think Vaisakhi and Sikh New Year is the same thing.
Hanji, but it's not because the Sikh New Year is a month before. Jait is the first month. And Vaisakh is the second month.
Yeah. Which
refers to Vaisakhi.
Yeah.
Right? So
Vaisakh is actually a month in the Punjabi calendar, right?
Hanji. So Jait and then Vaisakh. It comes in Gurbani as well. Vaisakh Tiran kyo vardiya jinna prem bishoho.
Yeah.
Right? So the Guru gives teachings about that. And Bibi Gurpreet Kaur is doing a series on that, right? Barehma Maha Katha.
Yeah.
So if you learn more about the Sikh months and the teaching the Guru gives, then you can check out that playlist as well.
Whenever you're talking about this, it's reminding me of that funny clip from the Nagar Kirtan in Canada. And the presenter is asking the Sangat questions like, why are you here today?
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then he goes to the guy and he's like, oh yeah, so why are you here? And the guy's like, you had to give out food and eat and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, so what's Vaisakhi about? And the guy's like, no, that's too much. And then he goes.
Yeah, that was basically complete. You know, you find that funny. I feel sorry for the guy, man. I don't know why he did that to him. He probably hotted him up for doing that. But I guess at least now we realize that there's a lot of people, a lot of Punjabis who are going to these events, but they don't know about what they're celebrating, right? And that is like the big gap that we need to fill, right? Between the Punjabis, the Punjabi Sikhs and Sikhi.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going on when we go to Nagar Kirtans. And it's funny you bring that up because I used to love going to Nagar Kirtans when I was younger.
Yeah.
But why did I used to love going?
For the food. Free food.
Free food, right?
Yeah.
South of Nagar Kirtan, I used to go with my mates, right?
Yeah.
We used to get pakore. We go Matha Tek first. Then we get the pakore. We get the chips. There's a lot of chip stores as well, right? Chips are nice. And then we go to Park Avenue, Gurdwara Sahib. And you know in the car park, what was in the car park of Park Avenue? Do you know in that building at the back?
The Libya?
It was Rockies. They used to get Rockies
there,
innit? So used to get Rockies. Did you just get director? Did you get Rockies as well? Yeah, so you get Rockies burgers and you get the wraps and you get the chips. So this is me and my mates, right?
Yeah.
Again, not into Sikhi this time. And then we go to Southall Park and we'll play PUBG. So we get our cards out and I'm sure, and make sure you let us know in the comments if you guys have played PUBG as well, right?
People go to Southall Park and just mess about.
That's all it's about, right? But it's not become about Guru Granth Sahib Ji, which we've always tried to promote here, the message, right?
Yeah.
Of why are you going to these places for? It's like that disconnect.
So what is Vaisakhi then? Why do we do Nagar Kirtans?
The reason I do Nagar Kirtans is because Nagar means city and Kirtan means to sing the praises of the one. So this is something that goes back to our Guru's times, where Sikhs would actually walk around a village, walk around the cities and just sing Kirtan.
Yeah.
Even when Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji went to prison, Gwalior the Killa, even then Sikhs would go over to Gwalior which is many, many miles from Punjab or wherever they were. And they would
Yeah.
go and walk through the cities and sing the praises of Guru Sahib Ji. So that's what Nagar Kirtan is about. And you know, it actually used to take place early in the day,
Yeah.
like Amrit Vela.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
In India now, you go, it's called Parbat Peri.
Mm.
So they do it in the morning. And I've been to a few. It's cold,
Yeah.
especially if you're going like February as well, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if people understood what Nagar Kirtan was about, it'd be very different. Only those people would go there.
Mm.
Imagine if we did one Nagar Kirtan 1 year where there was no food.
Mm.
Imagine how different it'd be.
Or what about this? Instead of giving food to people who already got so much food
Yeah.
or have got fat bellies, maybe give food to people who are homeless
Yeah.
and maybe help the people who are actually starving. Because otherwise, people just bring trolleys now. I've seen it in
Or
Southall.
push chairs.
Push
I've been
chairs,
rammed by so many
trolleys.
push chairs as well.
They'll bring that and just load up on food supplies for the next few months. They'll have a lot of pakore and crisps and everything
Yeah.
and drinks. So maybe we should, instead of focusing too much on the food side, focus more on the Kirtan and the Gurbani side.
Hanji. And again, this is not knocking anyone who does the seva at Nagar Kirtans, right? Because that's their Sharda, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. But you're 100% right that we need to use our mat. We have to think, where is this money going towards? Because at the end of the day, you maybe have your own pocket,
Yeah.
but it might be the Sangat's money as well.
Yeah.
And now we're spending on Lucas aids to give to kids who are already running around crazy. 1 year is quite funny because the guy wasn't saying Lucas aids, saying energy, energy, and he's giving out energy for kids to do their homework, right? But definitely still have langar in the Guru cars,
Yeah.
but use that money more wisely. There's too many pakode stores.
Yeah.
We've got enough food. We've got enough money. Let's help people. Let's invest that money in the right way, in the right projects on Prachar, which we're always big on.
Yeah.
Any type of Prachar, whether that's Kirtan, whether that's becoming a Lakhari, a writer.
Yeah.
All these different things that are available, we could use that money much more better and wisely.
Yeah.
And look at have you ever been to the Nagar Kirtan at the end of the day?
Yeah.
How much mess there is.
It's crazy how much rubbish is left on the floor, packaging, food wasted. And then there's literally a Sevadar team which goes around with like a dump truck.
Hanji.
And those Gurmukhs, they literally do it until like midnight.
Vaheguru.
They'll go after the Nagar Kirtan, picking up all the rubbish, putting it in the trucks, loading everything into black bags.
Even I think it's Guru Nanak Darbar just here in Southall. I remember them doing the seva a few years ago as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to them and the young sevadars there as well. And that's nice when you see especially the young kids getting involved because there's a lot of positives in Nagar Kirtan, right? It's a nice time to come together for Kirtan, to see Gatka, to see the kids display their skills, their martial skills, and just come together in Sal Sangat and just jump.
That's what it should be about, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
If there's more of that, that'd be great. And just like, especially when it's a sunny day as well, right? Because a lot of the Nagar Kirtans here are quite rainy.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's this, especially a lot of the other kids that come, it's like there's this disconnect. Like they're not connected. They don't know what's going on.
And another idea is how about we invite people from all different communities, non-Sikhs as well. Because if you look at this idea of a Nagar Kirtan, something the Guru Sahibs have started, it's a really unique idea. And you don't see anything like it in the West, where like you have a large procession going and people giving free food and stuff. And you're singing, meditating at the same time.
Hanji.
So in terms of spirituality as well as langar and seva, if we invited loads of basically everyone, non-Sikhs, and told them to come down, enjoy, experience Nagar Kirtan, and at the same time we should have people there doing prachar in English, in whatever language that people are when they come.
And what's interesting is that right now when we do Nagar Kirtan, they take place in areas and pockets of the country around the world where there's majority of a Sikh population, right?
Yeah.
I went to a Nagar Kirtan a few years ago in Ipswich.
Yeah.
Where there's a small group of Sikhs, right? And majority of people there were not Sikhs.
Yeah.
And it was the best Nagar Kirtan that I've been to for Prachar.
Yeah.
Best, hands down. It was amazing. We started at the Gurdwara Sahib and it was going to finish in like the city center.
Yeah.
Right? So along the way, you got Kirtan playing, right? You got all these colorful Guru Sikhs on the street, right? Wearing like orange and yellow, all different colors, right? Blue, etc. And then you've got everyone coming out of their houses thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So literally, we got so late to the city center. from the Sangat that was leaving with Guru Sahib Ji, because you were going to every single house and just speaking to them.
Yeah.
They're saying, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And
that links back to the Bhakti at the start. Kar Kar and the Dharamsal.
There you go, taking Sikh into everyone's home. So there's many different ways of doing that, right? A lot of, it was lovely. There was no negativity at all, and everyone was so positive. It was the first Nagar Kirtan in Ipswich for like, I think it was 20 years. It was a very long time, and it finished in the city centre. The mayor was there of Ipswich, and a lot of it was mixed. It wasn't just Sikhs there, and it builds, it builds a community spirit as well, and people get to know about Sikhi, about Sikhs, and we get to do prachar.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, right? Because even our Nagar Kirtans here in our places where there's many Sikhs, we are not telling the Sikhs what Nagar Kirtan is about.
Yeah.
Just like the video you talked about, right? They don't know what's Vaisakhi Nagar Kirtan about. They don't know what Vaisakhi is about. We have this pride. We're proud of our heritage, but we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
It's almost that we're proud of the image.
Yeah.
That's it, right? We're proud of Baba Deep Singh Ji with a double-edged sword and looking so beautiful, which is fine. But what about the depth? What about what Baba Deep Singh Ji had inside them, right? Which was Gurbani. They were not just pure on the outside, they were pure on the inside, which is both are important. Not when people make this point about, oh, well, it's about the inside or the outside. I don't like that. Right? Personally, I think both are important, right? We shouldn't weigh one over the other, because then that's like saying, are these kakar not important, the 5Ks that the Guru gives to us? Because they don't just have a physical meaning to them, they have a spiritual meaning to them.
Yeah.
Right? So anything on the outside connects to the inside. The mind is the body and the body is the mind.
And actually, some of the spiritual meanings or reasons behind the kakars is really interesting. And it ties into like science as well.
Okay.
In terms of like the Ganga, one of the reasons I heard, the spiritual reasons, is obviously you do it, you comb your hair every day, and that combs out any negativity you have from your mind. So you're combing out negativity, but at the same time, there's a scientific reason, which is it neutralizes your hair. Have you heard this? Like positive,
but
negative
I
electricity.
think you're better saying it because I probably read it all wrong. Or the static energy. And
the static energy.
Yeah, and you get headaches with plastic combs and just use a wooden one.
Yeah, so with the wood, it actually neutralizes that electric current that you have. Because obviously our brains are all electricity, like neurons firing
and stuff.
So when we use the wooden comb, it actually absorbs a lot of that. And then when it comes to like the kara, what's the spiritual?
Look, kara practically, it protects the arm, right? So like if somebody was to, try and attack you, like in the Guru Sahib Sama when they're in battles, it'll protect your arm, right? But then it also acts as a reminder, spiritually, that actually there's no end to Vaiguruji. I used to learn that in school. You learn that in school. God has no end, it has no start, right? It's a circle.
Yeah.
But even more deeper is that this is no longer your arm. This is the Guru's arm.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with these arms? So that's the spiritual side. Same with the kashera, right? You have to tie a knot when you wear the kashera, the undershorts, right? So to stop calm, to stop lust, right? That you think before you act, right? So,
and actually, even with the kara, just to add, the reason why it has to be sarblo, has to be iron, is because that your body absorbs the iron. And I know it's a really big thing for Sikhs, especially Asians living in the West. We have iron deficiency. And so it's amazing Guru Sahib's like thought of this years before, that our bodies will absorb iron and we'll get as strong as Baba Deep Singh. We'll get that strength, Hana.
So just again, going back in a circle, going back to Baba Deep Singh Ji, it was not just the outer look, it was the inside as well. Both were very important. And that's something that we've kind of lost, that connect. We're not bridging that gap. Hence why, doing this prachar to bridge that gap between the Sangat. Because now when people go to the Guru Gar, it's like we cannot connect there, right? The language, our first language is English, for example. And even if somebody speaks Punjabi, the terminologies used in the Guru's home, the Gurdwara Sahib, are very different to what our people are speaking. Right? So there's a lot of things that we need to work on, basically, when it comes to prachar.
Yeah, and in terms of like Vaisakhi, it's like the whole birth of the Khalsa, right?
Yeah,
it's this Khalsa image that we need to envelop inside as well as outside. And so we need to take on the teachings of Guru Sahib for the Khalsa, which is meant for the whole world. Like Raj Karega Khalsa is the Khalsa will do Raj of the whole world.
They rule the whole world.
What is the reason behind that? Why would Guru Sahib say something like that?
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Is that because when somebody hears that, they're going to think straight away that, oh, these are going to be like tyrants.
Yeah.
But if you look at Maharaja and Ajit Singh, during their time, Maharaja and Ajit Singh ji, they had a Khalsa Raj. But in that Khalsa Raj, there was people living under that rule that were majority not different faiths. They were not even Sikhs.
The Sikhs were a minority.
They're minority
in the actual government.
Yeah,
it was actually a minority Sikhs, right?
Yeah, and just in the population.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean what people think it means, right? It means that everybody lives in harmony. Everybody can practice their faith with freedom, as long as they don't put someone else down, right? As long as they don't cause tyranny upon anybody else. That's what it means. And just some points when it comes to their teachings. This is where people get frustrated when it comes to Sikhi, right? Someone is born into a Sikh family, they'll get frustrated because they'll see that a lot of these things like the Punjabi mentality, like pride, right? So one of the things that we touched upon pride, but in a different respect now, that we like when it comes to our home, comes to our money, comes to our jat, right? Caste. If somebody's a jat, then they think they're like number one in the world, right? But technically, a jat is a very low caste.
Yeah.
If you're a farmer, you're like one of the lowest castes in the caste system in India.
Yeah.
The highest ones are the priests and the warriors.
Yeah. And
the thing is that what we see today is what we saw in the Guru's times as well. So if you look at Guru Ramdas Ji, our fourth Guru, their son faced a lot of this. Who's the fifth Guru? Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who was the youngest of three brothers, and their eldest brother, Baba Priti Chand, was very jealous. And they had a lot of enmity towards Guru Arjan Dev Ji.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of pride as well. So when people say, did our Gurus face this? They did. Wherever we're facing in our life, if we read our Guru's history, we can find it there as well. And what happened at one point was that Baba Priti Chand, Guru Ramdas Ji, our fourth Guru's eldest son, he would say to his father, to the fourth Guru, that without me, none of this can work. The Guru Kar, the Gurdwara Sahibs will not run because of me. The Dharamsala, by the place of righteousness. That was the old name given to these places, right? And Guru Ramdas Ji said to their own son, they said, Kahe puta chagrat ho sang bapa. It's a long shabd. They say, Jis tanaka tum garba karta ho. That money that you're proud of, sota na kise hai na aap. It's not even your money. You might have, even if you did earn it, it's not going to go with you. So today when we see people that are so proud of the possessions that they have, Guru Ramdas is saying to us as well, that's not even your money, mate.
Yeah.
It's not going to go with you. That garba means to have pride of. So sota na kise hai na aap. It's not even yours. Kene mein hai jaye. Kene mein chhod jaye bikharas. They go, in a moment, it's going to leave you. It's poison. Ta lage pachatap, and you're going to regret it. So we are proud of all these things.
And just on that point about money, there's a really good analogy about a lake. I'm sure you've heard of this. Is it from Sar Kotavli Granth? And basically, if you try and hoard money, or you try and hoard a lot of money in your bank or something, and you don't ever spend it or you don't ever use it, then what happens is, as a lake water goes dirty and gets muddy, the same way will that money get like dirty and muddied. And what you should actually be aiming to do is treat your money as a river. Because what does a river do? It flows and it's always clean.
Perfect.
A river always, as it goes through like the rocks and stuff, it always gets cleaned, right? And in the same way, we should always keep our money flowing. So that's why Guru Sahib said, give the swand. Use your money for projects. Use it for I'm not saying don't save money. Yeah, you should save money for a rainy day. But it's where it becomes an obsession and it becomes greed. Where it becomes greed that, I need to hoard as much as I can, much as material objects as I can. That's where it affects you negatively.
And that's where I guess the swand comes in, giving you a 10%, right? Minimum. Because the Guru Sahib has already put these things in place for us. They're not a punishment. Like someone may say, why do I have to give 10%? I've heard people say, 10%, that's a lot of money. But it's for our own good. It's not to make us feel sad or dukhi. It's for our own pala. Right. So definitely great analogy. If money flows, that's the greatest. And the thing is that money gives us pain from start to end. Look, when you have to earn money, it gives you pain. You have to work so hard to earn that money. So when you want to earn money, it causes you duk. It causes you pain. when you have to save that money, it causes you dukh.
Yeah.
Because you're worried that I hope nobody steals my money.
Yeah.
I put in the bank accounts, the bank may go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Then what do I do?
Yeah.
Right? And then when you have to spend the money, then you're dukhi then as well. So from earning it to taking care of it to spending it, it's just dukh.
Yeah.
It's just pain. So why are we so obsessed over it? Like Guru Ramdas is saying, Jis tan ka tum garb karta ho, so tan kise hai na aap. It's not even your money. It's not going to go with you, and you're going to regret at the end that you spend so much time on that, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, right? Money is such a big topic, and pride over our wealth and our name and our title and the power that we want.
Yeah.
But another big topic is alcohol.
Yeah.
And the issues of alcohol in the Sikh community, Punjabi Sikh community as well, is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're doing some research earlier when I was mentioning this stuff to you, and you found some crazy facts as well, right?
Yeah. So the NHS, the cost of treating and responding to people that do like binge drinking or alcohol related symptoms and problems, it costs the NHS, so that's the National Health Service in the UK, $3.5 billion per year. And that amounts to about £120 per person.
In tax.
In tax.
So if in my family, all 5 of us pay tax.
Yeah.
So is that a year, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at about what? Just under £600 in a year. 5 times 120 is 580.
Okay. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. 5 times 100 is 500.
Yeah.
It's not. What is it?
It's 600.
You get so gassed about my
basics of maths.
Basics of maths, innit? The main point I'm trying to make is that £600 in our expenditures going towards people who are drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Binge drinking and the effects of that. And that's just on health service.
That's just on an economical scale, right?
But that's just health service though. As in like, we're not even talking about other damages that could occur like
psychological
car crashes,
long-term
death, right? Domestic violence, so many things, right? And even the like divorce that occurs from it as well, right?
Yeah.
There's so many different factors there to bear in mind as well when it comes to alcohol. And what does Guru Sahib have to say about it? This is a question that people ask, right? What does Sikh have to say about these things? First of all, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji, they are not a rule book. They're not even a book. They are our Guru. So when people say that I want to read Guru Granth Sahib Ji and I want to find a chapter in Guru Granth Sahib Ji about alcohol, you're not going to find that because Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not even divided by chapters. Divided by rag. Yeah. Simply music, right?
Yeah.
Different tones and emotions. But Guru Amrit Das Ji actually speaks about specifically in Gurbani. I won't go for the whole Shabad, that would be all day. But it comes in Ang 554, shouted by Guru Amrit Das Ji, third Guru. And this is from Gurbani Arth Pandar, for those who want references, right? Because everyone likes the references these days. And there's like a bit of a background to the Shabad. So a Sikh asks a question to the Guru. And they say to Guru Sahib, you say, hey Guru Sahib Ji, those people that drink alcohol, what is their state like? So sharab peen waliya da ki hal hunda hai. Those who drink alcohol, what is their halat? What is their state? And Guru Amrit Das Ji tells us, Slok Mahalla Tija, Manasa Parya Anya, Manasa Parya Aye. He said, those people that drink alcohol, one person brings the bottle, other person pours it in. I'm sure many of us have seen this before in our own families, right? And then they say, Jita peete, those that drink it, mat dur hoye. What do you think that means?
Their mind goes far.
This mind goes far away, right? Barl pave vich aaye. Barl here means very simply to go pagal. They go crazy. They drink so much and they go crazy. And I'll just finish on this next line, which is very powerful. Apana paraya na pachanai. Apana means your own.
Yeah.
And paraya means somebody else, somebody else's.
Yeah.
Na pachanai. Pachanai means to know. They don't even know the difference between their own and somebody else's.
Yeah.
Meaning even a partner. Kasimoho takke khai. And then they have to reap the rewards of that. They have to be punished for that.
Mm.
And how many times have we, like in my family, I know I've seen so many fights that have taken place just because of alcohol.
Yeah.
People, adultery taking place, cheating on your partner because of this. And when they're saying that you're going to be, that person is punished because of that calm, because that lust, what does Gurbani say about it? They say, Nimaka calm, swadakar. Just for that one moment that somebody indulges in lust,
Yeah.
just for that one moment of lust that somebody indulges in, they suffer millions of days of pain for doing that. The next line is quite interesting as well. I spoke about this earlier. Just so that one instant of just that pleasure that you have, you have to suffer for it so long and you regret it. So that saying, like the moment on the lips is like a lifetime on the hips.
No, I don't know that saying.
You know the saying, bro.
Yeah.
But it's literally that, right? What you do in one moment can change everything. That one moment of anger that we have can burn away all of that bhakti that we've done. Because in that one moment, we could do something so bad and dangerous that it's all gone away.
Yeah.
It links back to kakada, right?
Yeah.
Links back to spirituality. Because what happens today and what I've seen is that a lot of people, they're very active, right? And they go out there and
they're reactive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the right word.
Yeah.
You came in the right time and smash.
Yeah.
Reactive. But this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because when we're reactive, we act off emotions. And that's a very dangerous thing to act upon, because then we are not thinking straight. We're not thinking with our mat. We're not thinking with Bibek Buddhi. We're not thinking with the Guru's mat. We're acting upon our emotions, and people just get angry.
Yeah.
And they start swearing, and that's just a minor thing, swearing. Right? Of course, they'll promote it.
When you can't control your emotions, that means you've let someone else master over you.
Yeah.
And they've got the better of you.
And just verbally saying something is one thing, but then what I mean by it being minor, as in not that bad, is because there's much more worse action somebody does from that, as in physically.
Yeah.
As well, right? So Guru Sahib is saying to us here that if it's anger, that's one thing. Lust is another thing. And a line about this in Gurdwara, they say, hey Kaman, the old lust, old desires, here referred to lustful thoughts and actions. Hey Kaman, Naraka Bisaramang. Because of you, people go to hell. Boho Joni Paramavana hai, and many people have to come back again.
Yeah.
And that is the dangers. And when it comes to alcohol, Guru Amar Das speaks about this clearly. But this goes back to our disconnect that we can't blame these people.
I think in a lot of these cases, people use like this, the lust, the alcohol and all of these things, temporary pleasures as an escape. And they try and escape from their problems rather than trying to deal with them head on. And obviously it's really hard to deal with your problems like that head on. Definitely. And it's way more easier just to like binge watch a Netflix series or play a video game or do any of these other things, you know? But at the end of the day, it's in life, if you look at all these successful people, they'll always say the same thing. Like they took the hard path. When they were given an option, they were at a crossroad, they took the harder path. And I think that's what we need to try and build up in ourselves as well. And I think it's more of the Khalsa spirit we use. We get that support from Guru Sahib Ji. And there's that famous saying that if you take one step towards Guru Sahib Ji, then they take millions of steps towards you.
Right? So it's again, us saying this, we're talking on the problems in the Panth, but hopefully finding solutions. There are a lot of charities out there, whether that's Sikh or non-Sikh, that provide that support as well.
Yeah.
But another place, I guess, is in our Guru Gars as well.
Yeah.
If you had an issue today, do you think you could go to the Gurdwara Sahib and you'd get the support you needed? If you mentally, or if you had an alcohol addiction, etc.
I think that it would be really hard. Like if you were to walk to Guru Gar and you needed immediate help in something. Firstly, there's a language barrier because a lot of Gyanijis don't know English. So if you're like born and bred in the West and you know very little Punjabi, it's going to be hard to convey your problem.
Anji.
But then, going further, it is hard to find support for all of these issues.
I'm sure there's probably a few Gurdwara Sahibs that do it, but of course, there's so many, right? Yeah. Just even in Southall, right? But, I definitely, you can go into one Gurdwara Sahib and you may not even see anyone. And like you said about the Granthi things as well. So how are we meant to bridge that gap? Because if you look in different faiths, like you look in Christianity, Or maybe in Islam, you know, you could walk into a church and you'll be bombarded with information. You'll be bombarded with support,
counseling.
Like
the priests, they really want to do that. And
like they have. Is it in all churches have confession, or is it like specific?
I think it's Catholic churches.
Hanji. So like, you know, I'm not saying we need a confession system in our one, but you know, somewhere where somebody can go and they know they can speak to somebody.
Yeah.
And that for us is the Granthi Singh in that respect, because a Granthi Singh is of such a high level.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at Baba Buddha Ji.
Yeah.
Baba Buddha Ji was the first Granthi Sikh.
Yeah.
Right? During Guru Arjan Dev Ji's time. And they were spiritually high. They would do seva, they would do sangha, they do simran, they had everything. And Granthi Singh is somebody that does the seva of Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
And even Mata Ganga Ji would go to Baba Buddha Ji and ask for advice, ask for help. And that famous Sakhi about the onion.
Hanji. And that's Guru Arjan Dev Ji's wife, Mata Ganga Ji.
Yeah.
Guru Arjan Dev Ji sent Mata Ganga Ji to Baba Buddha Ji.
Yeah.
Even when a Muslim man called Wazir Khan from Guru, not the one from Guru Gobind Singh's time, they came to see Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji sent them to Baba Buddha Ji because he had odemia and his stomach was filled with water.
Yeah.
He came to, it's a really cool story. I won't go into it, but if you want to hear about it, then put in the comments. Right? I'll tell the last part, but he had this water left in his stomach, and they go to him, they go to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, please help me. And they go to Baba Buddha Ji, they'll help you. Baba Buddha Ji, when they went to Baba Buddha Ji, they said, "Go, why are you asking me for? Ask Guru Arjan Dev Ji, they're the Guru, they have all the power. I'm just the Sevadar. I'm just a farmer." And he wouldn't leave Baba Buddha Ji alone, and Baba Buddha Ji just wanted to do their seva. They got their tokri, their basket, and just hit it in their stomach. They said, "Just go away." And when they hit the tokri, the basket in the stomach, all the water came out their stomach.
Wow.
Because even the basket in the home of the Guru has a lot of Shakti in it.
Wow.
I want to put that in there. We're not cutting that out. Yeah. Why? It's like a papa Satanam Siri Vaheguru. So I'm just a Jakarta in it or something like that. Right? So there is a disconnect, but we need to. This is very important because we find a lot of Sikhs then start to fall out of Sikhi. They start to resent Sikhi.
Because they don't find that support network.
No.
And something you just said earlier about confession system, we do kind of have that with the Panj Pyare. So you can go to the Panj Pyare and like confess. But the Panj Pyare are there to provide solutions to help you. And that's usually a collection of 5 really wise Gursikhs.
And the word we use for it is pesh. Right?
Yeah.
And pesh may sound like a scary word to some people. Oh, go for pesh, right? But pesh literally just means to be hazard, to be there, to be present at the time, right? So it's not a punishment. If Panj Pyare give us something to do, people might say, "Oh, I got a saza, I got a punishment from the Panj Pyare." It's called a tanakha. Tanakha means salary.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing is. If anybody is struggling and they want support, whether that's someone who's Amritari, not Amritari, you know, Granthi Singh would be a good option, but again, we know the barriers there. But then go to Panj Pyare. I definitely recommend that because one thing a Guru Sikh said to me was, "You never lose out from going to Panj Pyare."
Yeah.
How can you lose?
Yeah.
You're going to see the form of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Ik Sikh, doi Saad Sang, Panji Parameshwar.
Wow.
When you have 5 Guru Sikhs, Rehtavan, that means you are living the discipline to the dot.
The Khalsa discipline.
The Khalsa discipline. The ones who are Nama Japanawal, they recite God's name with every breath. 24 hours a day. You're going to see 5 Guru Sikhs like that. How can you lose that? You're only going to gain.
Yeah.
And that comes to the point about the question that came earlier about the mass conversion and Christianity.
And actually, one more point. A lot of people in the West, they try and travel like to the Himalayas or something, and they're always looking for like a wise man in the mountains, a sage. Yeah. But then we're so lucky because you could just go to the Gurdwara and you can find Panj Pyare who are like way better than those wise men. Yeah. And there's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them as well.
And they'll give you spiritual guidance, worldly guidance, anything.
And these Panj Pyare are like, you know, people that live in the world.
Yeah.
They have 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Because Guru Saji wanted us to live in the world. Not knocking him in the mountains anyway. That's fine as well. But Guru Saji said to us, and Pai Gurdashi says that Grist is Pradhan, the householder's life.
Yeah.
So these 5 can relate to you. They live in families. They face the same problems you face every single day, but they are detached. They are beyond them.
Mm.
They've conquered them.
Yeah.
They've conquered their mind.
Yeah.
They've controlled their vices.
Yeah.
And they can support us
Mm.
as well, right? So, you know that question that came earlier. What was the question again?
The question was about Christianity is becoming really big in India and it's overtaking Sikhi. And are we worried about it?
Well, to be fair, it's already overtaken Sikhi. So the warrior should have happened a long time ago. When I checked the stats, it's the third biggest religion in India.
Yeah.
So it's Hinduism, then Islam, then Christianity.
Yeah.
So, you know, Christian missionaries came to India a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, they've been planning this for years.
Yeah, and they just come in and prachar, and they've done a good job, I guess, isn't it? They've converted a lot of people.
Yeah.
So well done in that respect. And
but at the same time, they've done like forced conversion.
That's the point,
which is a big something that we don't really look at doing in Sikhi
at all.
Sikhi is like totally against forced conversions.
Yeah, it's like if somebody came and you knew there was like on the breaking point, you could say to them, "Join us and we'll make you happy." A Sikh would even have that thought in their mind.
And actually, I've heard Sikhi being described as like by some Americans as the opposite of forceful conversions.
Yeah,
because they said that Guru Gobind Singh Ji made the Khalsa to fight the Mughals who were forcefully converting.
Yeah,
so you could, even if you just look at that one example, Sikhs were so against it. They stood up so much for justice, so much for the people that they actually got arms, bore arms and fought against it to stop forceful conversion.
There you go. And if you ask Guru Gobind Singh Ji, because they were asked by Bahadur Shah, who was the Mughal emperor after Aurangzeb, I think it was their son, the grandson, I can't remember now. They said to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, what's better than, innit, Sikhi or Islam? And Guru Sahib said, to you, yours is beautiful, to us, ours is beautiful. Right? So that's the kind of attitude Sikhs have, or Sikhs should have, but we should all have. And you know, to people that make these kind of comments, I just laugh. It doesn't affect me. I'm sure it doesn't affect many Sikhs, because you have to realize that Sikhi has never been a faith, a movement, a practice of big numbers since the start.
We've always been a minority.
Always been a minority. Yeah. Guru Sahib says, we're the rarest of the rare. Those people who truly follow the spiritual path. So just an analogy to go with that. In this world, there's about 30 million Sikhs.
Yeah.
There's not a lot, right?
No.
And just in India, it's probably about 20 to 25.
Yeah.
So there's not many of us. But for those people that are going to say now that, oh, look, there's not many of you guys. Are you guys failing? Do you think you failed? We've never aimed to have big numbers. And we were never told we were going to have big numbers as well. So just one analogy to go with that. In this world, whatever is rare to find, its price, its qimti is very high, right?
Expensive, yeah.
It's very expensive. If you look in the mountain, you'll find a lot of iron. But the price of iron is very low. It's very attainable.
Yeah.
Right? You could buy it easily. But how hard is it to find gold in the mountains? It's very hard. Gold is very hard to come by. But what's the worth of gold?
Way more.
It's way more, right? And this is the point here, that when it comes to Vaiguruji, when it comes to Paramatma, that thing that is Mahan, that thing that is great, Vaiguruji has kept less of it to keep its qimti. Qimti means its worth, its price. And we all know that something that is in abundance, we abuse it. Right? That could be this planet. Look how we abuse the planet, all the resources that we have on the planet. Yeah. Look at the luxuries that we have around us.
Yeah.
Maybe even the loved ones that we have. We abuse these, but when they're gone,
then you realize the worth.
Then we realize the worth. And that's just like Sikhi as well.
Yeah.
So when people say to us that, oh, you are less, there's this kata, there's a lack of Sikhs. The way we look at it is that that kata is actually a bakshish. It's actually a blessing from the Guru. Right? Just because we are less, it doesn't mean that it's a punishment, it's a bad thing, we're failing. Of course, we have to take responsibility and do our parchar, but it's a blessing from the Guru. That's where Chardi Ikla comes in, right? The positivity, right? We're always in high spirits.
Yeah.
Even though everything has always been against us.
And I think with Sikhi, it's not a numbers game, you know?
No.
It comes more down to actually having love for Vaheguru, hai na? And there's that amazing shabad by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Saach kaho sun le ho sabe jine prem ki hote nahi prabh payo. That Guru Sahib Ji is saying, this is the truth. Listen to this, everyone. And whoever loves truly Vaheguru, then he Prabhupada, those guys will meet Vaheguru.
Yeah, they'll meet Vaheguru and they'll inspire others to meet Vaheguru as well, right? And that's the whole aim of Sikhi, right? That we're here to spread that message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which was to connect to the one in whichever faith you're in. That's why Guru Sahib Ji was trying to convert people to the truth, right? Not in the way that people may say that, right? That we are the truth and you're false, right?
Yeah.
The truth is one.
Yeah.
There is only one.
Yeah.
And we are here to try and connect people to that truth, right? Not to titles and names and stuff like this, right? So that answers that person's question, right? If we have not failed, it's the Guru's blessings, right? Everything that the Guru does is a blessing. Something that I heard.
We want quality, not quantity.
Yes, that's that point as well, right? But again, it's again, numbers means nothing to us, right? It's not about that at all. Just connect yourself. One person can make a big difference, right? We talk about this.
And also, if you look at the stats for that, it's crazy because a lot of the people have just been paid. Like they're people from really poor, impoverished communities, and Christian missionaries have gone there and provided them like free healthcare or something, or free education.
And incentives, basically.
They've given them incentives, like worldly incentives to join the faith. And fair enough, if you can't blame those people because they have no one else.
Yeah.
You know, they have no one else helping them. The government's failed them. The system failed them.
Yeah.
So when someone comes like that and helps you, obviously they want to join that group, right?
And you know, I watch a few videos online because people send stuff to me, and like, you know, they'll sing their hymns. They do Kirtan, right? It's still Kirtan.
Yeah.
But they'll sing in Punjabi. Yeah. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And anything, like, we have no enmity towards Christians.
Yeah.
And you know, it's great, you know, if somebody wants to follow a spiritual path and they find that through Christianity, that's fine. Right? But I guess the only point we're trying to emphasize here is that when people make these points, it doesn't affect us.
It's not a competition.
It's not a competition.
There's many paths going up the mountain, and they all lead to the same place. They all lead to the summit.
Hanji.
And the way we look at it is Sikhi is just more of a direct path, whereas some of these other routes just go a bit more around and around the mountain. But eventually
they have to get on that same path though. Because again, Sikhi is a path of qualities, of the spiritual qualities, which every faith everyone needs to follow those qualities. But the thing is that we can call it Sikhi, but we're not saying that it's just this. Do you get what I mean? It's universal.
We're not saying this box of Sikh religion.
Yeah.
We're saying Sikhi is the way of life that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has started. It's the spiritual way of life. And Guru Sahib went to Musliman as well as Hindus as well as everyone, and they said they gave them the way in order to connect to Vaheguru.
And what's interesting is that it's not something they started. Like, that's a key word. It's something that they brought back to us because people were lost.
Yeah,
that's the thing, where everybody had gone off the path. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji talks about this, about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, right? They came to put everyone back on the right path. Right, so just that point in itself, right?
And then when you just mentioned that about Guru Gobind Singh Ji, I remember a few weeks ago, someone said to me, make sure you follow Guru, all the Gurus, not just the last Guru. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And they're like,
that was here in the office, right?
They're in the office. They were like, don't just follow the 10th Guru. Yeah, follow.
Where was I?
Follow the first Guru. I think you were loading the bags. And I was like, whoa, what is this guy saying? You know, like all the Guru's message is the same. But it's a really common misconception that what Guru Nanak Dev Ji said and what Guru Gobind Singh Ji said was two different things.
So it's like the question is, why did Guru Gobind Singh Ji change Sikhi?
Yeah.
What people ask, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "Joto prem khelan ka chao, sirata aratali gali meriao." If you want to play this game of love, give me your head. Put it in your hands, right? Guru Amr Das, your third Guru, says, "Sadguru ki seva ga khadi, sir dije aap gawai." They say, if you want to serve the Guru, it's very hard. If you want to do it successfully, sir dije,
give your head,
aap gawai, and lose his ego. So if you just look at the words, the Guru Nanak Dev Ji is very fierce in their words. Bhai Guru Das says, "Sing book ke midagavali." That Guru Nanak Dev Ji roared like a lion when they came in this earth. They challenged the rule, right? They went around, they challenged what was going on. They didn't just stay quiet. They spoke out.
Actually, Guru Sahib Ji actually did have weapons.
If you look in the Sakhi, I think it was or when Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Sri Lanka, Sangladeep, I'm sure it's that one. It's written in Sri Nan Prakash. And when they went to go see Raja Shivnam, I'm sure it's that one, they had a nidja, they had a spear. So and I'm sure you can find old pictures, Puratan Swaroops, pictures of Guru Nanak Dev Ji with a dagger as well, right?
Yeah.
So then you'll find his references to Guru Sahib Ji carrying Shastar.
Yeah.
Right? And then Guru Angad Dev Ji started to teach you how to wrestle.
Yeah.
They started an akhada, teaching or being a part of it. That was a part of the routine of the Sikhs for about one peher, it means 3 hours a day, Sikhs would wrestle.
Yeah.
Guru Amar Das, we talked about their Bani. We got Guru Ram Das Ji, giving all these different types of Sikhya to us. Right? About not having pride. These all talk about, because you talked about Guru Ram Das Ji earlier, right? And not having pride and disciplining their children, telling them you shouldn't act like this. And when Guru Ram Das Ji said that to their son, Baba Priti Chand, that was the last time that Baba Priti Chand saw Guru Ram Das Ji.
Wow.
Right? Because Guru Ram Das Ji then went back to where they came on this earth, Lahore. Or was it Gobind Sahib? I think it was Gobind Sahib. They went to Gobind Sahib. Right? And they left their city, then city Gobind Sahib, if I remember correctly. So that was the last time they saw them, their father, right? And then you got Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Now when Guru Arjan Dev Ji are just saying, how did the Gurus change it? This is probably one of the best examples you can give, right? Guru Arjan Dev Ji, our fifth Guru, gave Shahidi. They sacrificed their life, right? In order to obtain the Sangat's humble plea, which is a long story in itself about not letting a wedding go ahead, but also not to change Gurbani. Before Guru Arjan Dev Ji went to give Shahidi, to sacrifice their life, they told their son Guru Har Gobind said, you're the next Guru. And they told Baba Buddha Ji Pai Gurdashi that now my son, Guru Har Gobind said, you carry Shastar. Not one, 2 weapons. Right? And they start an army.
And they're also commonly referred to as Meri Piri Di Malak.
Yeah, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, right? So that wasn't the 6th Guru who picked up the swords and said that I'm going to do this.
And isn't it common saying that Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said when they got to Akal Takht Sahib that bring me kore, bring me horses and bring me shastar, weapons.
Bring me these things now, right? Because before that, Sangh would bring food, money, clothes. But now Guru Sahib is saying that, look, what will please me now is horses and weapons and your youth. Bring a Nojawan here, right? We're building this army. That was based upon the words of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Then Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji created this army. They fought 4 battles. The 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahar Ji, their son, fought in those battles as well. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, before they left their physical body, the next Guru was Guru Harai Sahib Ji, who is their grandson. They gave this bachan, these words to Guru Harai Sahib Ji, that you must always keep 2,200 horseback men with you, soldiers that are on horse, armed. 2,200 at all times. That was passed on to Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji. So imagine Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji walking around with 2,200 horsemen, right? And they were only about 5 to 8 years old in that time. It's cool, right? Then Nove Pasha, 9th Guru, also carry Shastar as well, right? And they fought in battles.
So that martial tradition, that martial element was actually there from the start.
From the start.
All the Gurus, they enforced, they pushed this martial, this not only spiritual but also physical element.
100%. And now when you look in that way, we said the first Guru did this, the second Guru did this, but it was just Guru Nanak Dev Ji doing it each time. Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the first form did X, Y and Z. The Guru Nanak Dev Ji took their light and put into Guru Angad Dev Ji and they carried on. It goes back to the start of the podcast. It's only one. It's one light. You may have the sun, Vaheguru Ji, and you have 10 pots filled with water. The light that's coming from the sun is going in all 10 pots. It's the same light. It's that one. It's Vaheguru Ji sitting inside each of the Gurus. So to say Guru Gobind Singh Ji changed Sikhi, no, they didn't. And when they say that, oh, well, now it's become Amritari, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji was Amritari.
And just that concept of Amrit, it's a really big concept in Sikhi, and I've heard it is even been explained as a Maryada, rule of the world. That to progress spiritually, you need to have a Amrit and you need to have a Guru, have Naam from a Guru. And you can see it's common in a lot of other faiths as well. Like Christianity, they get baptized in like the holy water. And a lot of other like old faiths, they have a similar concept.
And it comes in Gurbani. They say, Bina Satguru kine na payo, Bina Satguru kine na paya. Without the Guru, no one's ever met Vaheguru Ji. So it's about getting an Amrit, getting Naam. Right? It's from the start. If you don't have Naam, you can only get Naam from the Satguru. you can't get mukti. Gurbani is saying that Amrit and Naam are the same thing. To make Amrit, it's pure water plus Naam, right? Which makes it to Amrit. And of course, other ingredients as well, like patase, sugar crystals, but we not going into that at this moment. But yeah, and all the gurus were Amritari. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji took Amrit from Vaiguruji. It comes in Pai Gurudashi's Vara as well. They went Charan Amrit. They took Amrit from Vaiguruji. They were blessed with Amrit from Vaiguruji. And the name was called Charan Amrit because what would happen is that they'll get water, they wash the Charan of Guru Sahib, their feet is the word that is used in English. And then then the Guru Sahib put their Charan in the water and they'll bless that water to become Amrit. And then the Sikhs would drink it. And that was all the Gurus. So when Guru Angad Dev Ji became the Guru, before that, they were already given Amrit from Guru Nanak Dev Ji. That was the Maryada, like you said, the discipline. All the Gurus were blessed with Amrit. The only thing that Guru Gobind Singh Ji did was just change that process in terms of from the Guru's Charan to now using a khanda, a double-edged sword, and 5 Guru Sikhs. Because Guru Sahib is setting us up that now going forward, there's not gonna be no more physical Guru in this physical human body.
Yeah.
Now the physical Guru is Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Paragat Gura Ki Dehe, which we say all the time, the physical body of the Guru, and the Panj Pyare.
And Guru Sahib is so great that they not only did they create Sikhs and Gur Sikhs, but they wanted them to be at the same level as them.
Hanji.
They created them in their image.
And that's where the Panj Pyare comes in, because the Panj Pyare in the court of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, very important point there, are the form of Guru Sahib Ji themselves. So they read Gurbani. Gurbani is the words of the Guru. And we say that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is divided by angs, limbs. We say limbs, why? So like how Guru Sahib Ji put their foot in the water, their charan, to bless that water, make it Amrit. Now we're reading that same form from their angs, their limbs, which is now Gurbani, the words of the Guru. And those words are going into that pure water and that becomes Amrit as well. So nothing's really changed, right? It's the same.
And we
Gurbani.
talked about the effect in the previous podcast with Dr. Darshan Kaur about the effects of sound, of frequencies on water. And just scientifically, they've proven it. Yeah. So we have no reason to doubt it now.
Yeah.
And also on that point, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they gave Amrit first, they administered it to the Panj Pyare, and then they themselves said to the Panj Pyare, now give it to me.
Hanji.
Which was such an amazing, groundbreaking thing.
It makes us think that if Guru Sahib Ji asked for it, then why are we second guessing Amrit for? Because this question about Guru Gobind Singh Ji change things, it's like we're against Guru Gobind Singh Ji then. If people don't realize that. But when we're saying this stuff, just think about it. It's like we're saying that what Guru Gobind Singh Ji did was wrong. When sometimes people pose this question that way, right?
Like you don't need Amrit.
Yeah. But then we're saying that Guru Gobind Singh Ji is wrong then. But no, but then we have to kind of explain this stuff to them to say that, well, all the Gurus were like that. So that means that we've not understood our history properly. And that's why we need to, listen to Katha. And we need to indulge ourselves in these things. And we realize a lot of the things that we thought, we could find the answers ourselves if we just researched, right? And just listened to Katha and read our history as well.
And another really funny thing we always hear is, so we all heard the story of Vaisakhi, like Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru, gathered all the Sikhs in Anandpur Sahib and they called for 5 heads. And obviously everyone was shocked, like, oh my God, why is the Guru asking for heads? And then eventually the 5 Panj Pyare got up and Guru Sahib Ji took them into a tent and then chopped their heads off. But actually it was a goat. And I know this is common because I've got into arguments with people and they said, no, the Guru used a goat.
So this is what you've heard from people, what you're just saying right now, this whole story, right? And this is very commonly heard in many places. Even when I go to schools, they'll tell this story there as well. But let's just look at it logically, right? Especially when they talk about the whole goat thing, right? It's quite an interesting topic because they'll say that, and again, for those who don't know the story, like you said, Guru Sahib Ji, this is why we said it with Vaisakhi, right? In 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji called many Sikhs to Anandpur Sahib. About 1 million Sikhs came. They stood on the stage and they asked for a head, right? And then eventually 5 Sikhs came and they gave their head to Guru Sahib Ji. But people say there were goats in a tent. And when Guru Sahib Ji took the Sikhs in the tent, they chopped the goat's head off. Blood was on the sword. They came back out. And then the second person came and gave their head.
Yeah.
And the third, and then 5 in total, right?
Yeah.
If you look at it logically, Guru Sahib Ji first, they asked for a head.
Yeah.
They were asking for a human head. They were not asking for a goat's head. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is a bit of an interesting point. If Guru Sahib Ji asked for a head and they chopped the goat's head off, then why is it not mentioned anywhere that the goats got mukti? The goats are liberated. We don't say that, right? And if you look in Gurbani talks about animals that were liberated all the time.
And there's even historical places like Shikar Kat Sahib and there.
Where the rabbit was, the rabbit was from Guru Nanak Dev's time, right?
Yeah.
And then the Guru Sahib Ji gave that rabbit mukti as well, right? So that's a really good point. There's
so we would have had references about these goats getting mukti.
Well, you'd think so, right? These are just thinking, I'm just thinking logically for those people, right? And in Gurbani, it talks about a hathi. Bala chutkiyo bandhan pare, kachu no ho to paye, koho nanak ab ot ahar, gaj jo ho sahai. Comes at the end of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Elephant was saved, right? From being drowned by octopus. So we got these examples in history, in our Gurdwaras, and in Gurbani as well. But another thing is that you've been camping before, right?
Yeah.
And you ever slept in a campsite and there's goats?
Yeah.
And what sound do they make?
I'm not gonna
You're not going to make the sound. Bear, right?
Yeah.
Now, goats in general, they're a type of animal that gets scared very quickly. So if there was a tent filled with goats and Guru said you chopped the goat's head off,
yeah,
what do you think the other goats would have done? They would have
made a noise,
They would have made a noise. And the 1 million people that were outside would have heard bear.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So that's just looking at it from a logical perspective, right? We've got Gurbani.
Yeah.
That we talked about earlier. Joto prem khelan ka chaho. Satguru ki seva ga kari. Sir dij. Give your head. Gurbani is already saying that. But then also we can look at what Gurbani has to say about the idea of the Guru bringing someone back to life. Because people doubt this then. Right? I've given you logical examples, right?
Yeah.
I've given you talk about historical stuff.
Yeah.
But what does Gurbani say? Does Guru Sahib Ji actually say you could bring someone back to life? What do you think?
Yeah.
Probably know the answer anyway, yeah? Yes. So the most commonly used one is Satguru Mera Mar Jival. That my Satguru can take someone's life, Mar Jival, and give them life again. But I find few more examples in Gurbani because sometimes you provide one and people don't, accept that. But Mar Ape Jivalda Antara Bahara Saath. That's another example. Again, Mar Ape Jivalda. They can take someone's life and give them life again. Another one, Prabhave Bina Saas De Rakhe. If God wishes, they can take someone's life, Bina Saas De Rakhe, and keep them alive. They can take someone's breath, very simply, and then keep them alive. So there's examples of this in Gurbani as well, about how Guru Sahib Ji can save someone, can bring someone back to life.
And even there's you could say, unbiased account of a Muslim spy, right? There was a spy sent by Emperor Aurangzeb, who at the time is the fierce enemy of the Sikhs, who wants to destroy the Sikhs. He sent this spy into the Guru's Darbar for many, many months. Or is it a year?
It's a long time. That's what's written.
For a long time. And this spy has been seeing the Guru and reporting back all of this information to the Emperor Aurangzeb. And he was there at that day. And he's done a written account explaining what happened. So he's given an eyewitness account. And in that eyewitness account, he said that the Guru cut the heads off the Sangat, the Sikhs.
Yeah.
Right in front of everyone. There was no tent.
100%. And I think his name is Abul Tarani as well.
Abul Tarani.
Hanji. And just to give some credibility to that as well, this is spoken about in a Granth, is a book called Ramgarhya Itihas by Veer Singh. He talks about this as well, who's a great Sikh scholar. You can find that in his writings as well. Sant Gyani Mohan Singh Ji talks about this in the Katha as well. You can find it in Gurvak Chandan as well, written by Sant Hari Singh Ji, Randave Wale Mahapurush as well. So there's many different accounts of this that we find from Sikhs referencing this as well. But on that point as well, which is really interesting, is that you said it's a non-biased source, right? Because that's an eyewitness account from the time of a spy. But on the other side, we've got eyewitness account from a Sikh as well.
And sorry, actually, the spy, after witnessing that, he said, "This is my last letter to you, Aurangzeb." And he went and took Amrit on that day. Which is just amazing.
There you go, right? Because look, he was a spy first of all, right? So Guru Gobind Singh Ji knew they were a spy. But Guru Sahib Ji still forgive them. They still blessed them and forgave them and blessed with Amrit.
Yeah.
Because after Guru Gobind Singh Ji blessed the Panj Pyare Amrit, like we said earlier, they also Amrit themselves. But what happened at that time was that after the 5 had stood up and given their lives, right? And Guru Sahib Ji brought them back to life through Amrit, right? There more people stood up.
Yeah.
It didn't stop there, but Guru Sahib Ji said, that's it. It was just 5. Then Guru Sahib Ji asked for Amrit. Then the next 5 that stood up, who knows the Panj Mukte, by Ishwar Singh Ji, by Tehel Singh Ji, by Ram Singh Ji, by Fateh Singh Ji, and I can't remember the last name now, but you can find them online, right? But those 5 Guru Sikhs, they gave their heads to the Panj Pyare, right? They were given Amrit Didat, right?
So they didn't actually chop their heads off this time.
They were given where the Maryada is today.
Yeah.
That's how they were given Amrit then, right? And when that was happening, thousands of people took Amrit that day. About 40,000 people, roughly. 40,000 people took Amrit on that day. And amongst those 40,000 people was that Muslim spy. He had the urge to take Amrit. Now, if this was a spy, why would the Guru do that for?
Yeah.
He could have just killed him. But they didn't, because our Guru is Kirpalu Swarup. They are filled with compassion. And that comes in Gurbani. So this point about forgiveness, such a big topic, right? That people feel that they cannot be forgiven for all the actions that they've done.
Yeah.
But even a Muslim spy that came to see Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they were forgiven.
Yeah.
And they were blessed with Amrit Didat as well. And it comes in Gurbani. In Sri Sukhmani Sahib, it says, Tuti garden heart Gopal, Sarabjiya ape pratipal. Which means, Tuti here means Tuttiya, the one that is broken away. The one that is their mind, their birti, their surti, their concentration, their whole life is broken from the Guru. Tuti garden heart Gopal. Garden here means Gandanawala, the one who ties a knot again. That is our Guru. They tie us back to them. They tie us back to the truth, to the path.
So what would you say to people who say, oh, that's just a miracle, that the Guru is doing miracles, which Sikhi is against miracles, right?
This is a big topic when it comes to miracles, right? Because even if you provide references, which you've done many times in the past, right? 1, 2, 3 credible sources, it still isn't good enough for these people, right? And if you look on the other side, then let's just look at Sikhi then. Let's look at history and many different examples of miracles that have come up. If we go back to Guru Nanak Ji's times, there were so many miracles. Guru Nanak Ji went to Makkah. He went to Mecca, right? And there they turned Kaaba around.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
Yeah.
They went to Baghdad. And there they disappeared with the Peer's son, the saint's son.
Peer
Dastagir. And they took him to all the different galaxies.
Yeah.
Now someone's going to say, whoa, Guru Nanak Ji went to different galaxies. You're making it up. Right? But it's written by Bhai Gurdas Ji. And Bhai Gurdas Ji's words are seen as the complete truth. They're the key to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So anything that's written by our Gurus, anything that's written by 2 Guru Sikhs, by Gurdas Ji and by Nandalal Ji, there's no doubt in the pant.
Yeah.
So Bhai Gurdas Ji even talks about themselves and they say, Ethe vich Baghdad de vaddi karamat dikhlai. So what keywords 6 are there to you?
Karamat.
What does karamat mean in English? Very simply.
Basically miracle.
Miracle, right? So ethe vich Baghdad, in Baghdad, de vaddi karamat dikhlai. Guru Nanak Ji showed a big miracle.
And there's even documentation of a like actual physical thing there, right? Landmark that was made at the actual place.
There you go, right? Even Bhai Gurdas is saying that the Guru showed a karamat.
So if you could explain then, what is it about miracles? What's this whole taboo in Sikhi then?
The thing is that when it comes to miracles, we have to realize that the Gurus did do miracles, but they were not done out of ego. They were not done to impress other people.
Yeah.
The Guru's life is a miracle.
Yeah.
Look at the Panjabi Vaisakhi. I won't go through them all because it'd be all day, but when that big boulder came down, they put their handprint in it. You can find that today. Nanak Chira. You've got near Hazur Sahib, quite far away from there though, you've got there where there's like a fountain of water. And that was some Guru Sahib Ji blessed in that place. Baba Deep Singh Ji fighting with their head in their hand. Bhai Mani Singh Ji cut limb by limb. Weren't these all miracles? Guru Arjan Dev Ji sitting on Tati Tavi. They were all miracles. So
but we have to look at the context, right?
The context is very important. Realize the Guru was not doing it to impress anyone, but there are many examples of miracles in our history, and they are a form of karamat, but they were not done out of pride, or out of ego.
Yeah.
They just happened. The whole Guru's life is a miracle. Even the idea of accepting God's will was the biggest miracle.
And actually, there's a lot of common like supernatural stories, you could say, of people like in other faiths who use these like miracle, like supernatural powers, but they used it to join people to themselves. And that was the key difference here. Whenever the Gurus or the Gursikhs use these type of supernatural powers or karamats or whatever, they did it for a purpose. They did it for a reason. And it was always a dharmic reason.
Hanji.
It was always to help someone, or it was to join them with Vaheguru.
Hanji. It was not done ego, like we said before, not to impress anyone. And that is a clear distinction. Because if you look in all the Guru's lives, there were many miracles that took place. And we just given references as well from Gurbani, from Itihas. But that is a difference. So do Sikhs believe in miracles? Yes. Are there be many miracles in Sikhi? Yes. But the difference here is that it was not done out of pride or ego to impress anyone. And
I know in Gurbani also says that about the Naunid. They chase after people who are like Naam Abhyasi Gursikhs.
Hanji. It's like no nidhi athar hai siddhi. It's like they say like piche pir hai. They run behind that person, jo hare hirday sada vasaye, who have God's name inside their heart. I probably got the pankti wrong, so please forgive me. But they say that these spiritual powers run behind them. But the Guru Sikh doesn't want them. The Guru Sikh doesn't care about them. The greatest miracle for Guru Sikh is to accept Vaheguruji's will. Right, so that's the way we should be looking at it. So for those people who say that we don't believe in miracles, we've misunderstood what that actually means. Just on that point that you mentioned earlier about about the Muslim account, right? There was even a Sikh account called someone called Bhai Har Singh Ji, who was a diary writer of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and a very similar account to the Muslim account as well. Right, so just to show that there are Sikh accounts as well that say
where
this.
Is that?
It's in a Pothi Sahib called Gohaj Pothi, which is, it's not, we don't know where that Pothi Sahib is today, but a great saint called Sant Gyani Guru Bachan Singh Ji actually read that Pothi Sahib when they went to Sri Hazur Sahib in the last century, and they wrote that stuff down. And many other Guru Sikhs have actually written parts from that Gohaj
They've
Pothi
copied
as well,
from there, no?
from that Pothi Sahib as well. So there are Guru Sikh accounts. You can listen to Katha by many Gyanis, many scholars, and you'll find the similar explanation given as well when it comes to up at that time. So maybe something to finish off with now is just talking about just Amrit in general. Vaisakhi, right? Because it's a big time. A lot of people are blessed with Amrit Didat, but a lot of people have a lot of doubts. When it comes to like Amrit. When you were blessed with Amrit, was it like just chilling, just going to go to Amrit and Chad, or did you have any doubts in your head or anything like that?
Well, I guess you are always, you have a bit of fear, you know, like I'm going to have to adopt this new lifestyle. Am I ready for it?
Hanji.
That's the biggest question people always give. I'm not ready to take Amrit, you know? But the thing is, you can never be ready to take Amrit, because you can never be like perfect, can you?
No.
It's always a journey that you have to develop and evolve with. And so when it comes to taking Amrit, it's just something you need to like dive headfirst in, I would say.
And I don't disagree with that at all, right? I think for some people, definitely it is that step, right? Like even by Gurdwara Singh Ji, that's literally what they did. They dived straight in. They were still like a munna at that time, cut hair, right? And just on that point, it's like you're saying, it's like we're waiting to be perfect before we be blessed with Amrit. But that's what the whole point of Amrit is to make us perfect in the respect that we become one with the perfect one.
And even like a lot of psychologists nowadays, they talk about this idea of commitment. And people fear commitment, right? They fear taking on something long-term, taking on responsibility. But the only way to grow and the only way to develop as a person is by challenging yourself and taking on these commitments.
100%. And for those people who may think that, but what happens if I fail later on? What happens if I break my Amrit? The thing here is that it's not you who's going to take care of the Amrit. It's the Amrit that's going to take care of you. That's what helped me when I was going to take Amrit as well, right? Be blessed with it. It was just understanding that we don't have Amrit is Guru Gobind Singh Ji. It's their blessing. It's themselves, because it's Gurbani that's read into that blessed water, right? To make it to Amrit. So the Guru is taking care of you. We're not taking care of the Guru. The Guru is taking care of us. That's where we got to look at it.
And taking Amrit is like is your induction into the school.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people say that, I'm going to do all this training. I want to learn all my part and do all this and then take Amrit because then I'm ready. But actually, it's the other way around. Amrit should be the start of the journey. That's your induction into the school, and then your year one, then your nursery, and you need to go to college, A-level, sixth form, and all that.
Definitely. And what's really cool is that when you start in that school, it just never ends. And that's what excited me when I was blessed, that there was so much to learn spiritually, but also, you know, even just in terms of just knowledge, right? Gyan and Dhyan, right? To have the worldly knowledge, but to apply it spiritually as well, right? There's a lot. So, and that's one of the issues, that when people are blessed with Amrit, they stop.
Yeah.
They stop all those things that they're doing to go their Sikhi. And that's why a lot of people kind of fall off. And a good point that somebody actually made, one of the Guru Sikhs I knew, a part that does Panjabi Seva as well. They were saying that, you know, we should be putting things in place for those who are Amritari to like a development plan.
Yeah.
Obviously not along those lines, sounds very formal, but it's literally that, right?
Yeah.
That are they still staying in touch with their Panjabi? Are they developing? Because those people, those Panjabi who give us Amrit, that bless us with it, those are at such a high spiritual level, and they can guide us along the way through the challenges that we're facing, right? So it's not just about us sitting here saying that, look, you know, take that step. Even if you have taken that step, you have to keep on taking steps.
And the thing is, with Amrit, it's not something you can just break. You know, it's not some like feeble thing that once you do something wrong, it's broken forever. It's like Guru Sahib is the biggest forgiver. They'll forgive you no matter what. As long as you, from your heart, you mean it, you know?
Yeah, if you truly want forgiveness, right?
And it always comes to that point. If you take one step towards a guru, they'll take millions towards you.
Hanji. Definitely. And I guess just we try to look at the guru through our lens, because we might get to a stage where we run out of patience for someone, right? But just like how the ocean is infinite, the guru's forgiveness is infinite as well. And it comes in like Puratan Granths as well. Sad Katavali, for example, the first quality, the 10 gun, the 10 qualities of a righteous person, the first one is Kima. Kima Ahinsa De Amrit. So the first thing someone needs to be righteous is forgiveness. And you can find that. So there's a lot of questions people ask when it comes to being blessed with Amrit. But I think one key thing we can take away is that, look, just like in 1699, the Guru asked for a head. All you have to ask yourself is, right now, would I give my head to Guru Gobind Singh Ji? Right? Everything else doesn't really matter, right? In the grand scheme of things. Because we're always going to have doubts. Even when we get up to the Amrit Sanchar, it's very rare to find somebody who just goes through it very naturally, right? We always have doubts, but we're going to give our head. So why not, if you don't know part, you don't know these things are important. They help you a lot, definitely. But just know this, that if on that day you go and you give your head to the Guru, that whatever said to you on that day, then you follow it. It's kind of that simple, but we complicate it so many times, right? So to a lot of people that ask questions, it just goes back to the same point. Did you give your head to the Guru? So
just on that point as well, when people say they're never ready or they keep on delaying it, well, the thing is, you never know. You could die tomorrow. And like, unfortunately, you don't know with these things. Death can come at any point. So it's way better to, like Guru Sahib says to us, that this is your chance to meet with the Gobind, with Vaheguru. Don't waste this opportunity, you know?
Definitely. And even just the idea of death itself, that kind of wakes us up, right? That actually, that could be me next, right? So definitely bearing that in mind. And if we do think we're not ready, but we still want to go, one thing you have to make clear as well is that it's not like Amrit is just there for you to take. You have to earn it.
You have to give your head.
You have to give your head. So Panj Pyar are not just going to say to you, please take Amrit. They're not going to beg you. You're going to have to beg them.
It comes to that point of quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
You know, the Sikhi is all about quality, about people giving their head to Guru Sahib. We're not begging anyone to take Amrit, you know?
Hanji. That's an important point that you raised there, right? It's not something that's just given out. We could say we've made Amrit quite cheap in that respect, but it's priceless, right? So, you know, if you're not ready to take it, but you're not sure yourself, Panj Pyare will let you know that you're not ready. So, you know, if you have that doubt that actually, maybe I'm not ready, but I want to go. Go, speak to the Panj Pyare, tell him the situation. And it goes back to the point from earlier that we don't speak to Panj Pyare in that way. Why don't we should go to Panj Pyare and say to them that this is my situation. They're the best people to guide us in the court of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj.
Like Guru Sahib created this support network, and you can see it's prevalent in history with Banda Singh Bahadur. They had Panj Pyare with them that always guided them, you know?
Definitely. So it's been there from the start. Guru Sahib Ji left us with that, and it's still here today. So we should be utilizing that. Something that many saints would call Amrit Parachar. We're doing Parachar of Amrit. And these are all key parts for the Amrit Parachar that actually going, speaking to the Panj Pyare and getting their teachings and getting their guidance as well. So I think now that we've probably come to the end of the podcast, right? Not to make it too long. And just like the Guru Nanak Ji podcasts, I like the topics we covered, a variety of topics, right? When it comes to Vaisakhi itself. But before that, we went through the questions. So for the Sangat, make sure you guys send us your questions on the different platforms, wherever you listen to this on, and we'll check them. And whichever ones are, appropriate, we'll definitely share them in our podcast to come. We talked about Vaisakhi, and one thing we didn't mention was that obviously in the Punjabi sense, it's more of a harvest festival. But for Sikhs, it's to do with Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the Khalsa Panth and starting this path of the Khalsa Panth. We talked about, Nagar Kirtan and all the, the things that we face and what Nagar Kirtan should truly be about, when it comes to Punjabis and Sikhs, and about pride and alcohol, not seeing the Granthi Singhs as being approachable. How can we bring our people into the Guru Cars? And this whole idea of numbers, quantity and quality, right? That we're not here to be big in numbers. And then we talked about the actual story of Vaisakhi, right? And the idea about the goats. Right? And Guru Sahib, you're not changing Sikhi at all. It's the same light. And then miracles. And then we talked about some questions that people might have about Amrit as well. So I think, we covered a great variety of stuff. Do you think there's anything we missed out?
No, I think that's all good.
So should we finish off there? So thank you to all the Sangat.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. And make sure you guys follow us on all the different platforms.
So please, subscribe to BOS TV. And if you want to listen to the audio only podcast, we'll put the link in the description. So you can go to the Captivate link and you can listen to it on a number of streaming platforms. And I think that's all, right? So thank you so much again. And please forgive all the mistakes that we made. Any suggestions for podcasts going forward, just with me and Gobind Singh, or with any guests that you have in mind, then please do let us know. Again, please forgive our mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.